as you know, it's a good evening from the studios in Brisbane, Australia. It's 7 o'clock. Our co-host is in the UK. It's currently just gone past 9 o'clock in the morning. Our guest for today is actually across the border in New South Wales. They're on daylight saving. It's currently 8 o'clock. In the meantime, I wish to hand it over to none other than the lady in red today. It's a good morning to you in the UK there, Andrea.
Hi, Jeffrey, and welcome and good day to everybody who's dreaming the new dream and who are listening to the replay or listening to us live. So today is the 6th of November, 2025, and it's my great pleasure to have my beautiful soul sister, Katharine Kinnie, on, who's the custodian and founder of Cosmic Numerology. For over decades, she's into sacred sites, energies, mass, which is not my favorite subject anyway, dream spells, 13 star signs, and so much more. And she's a weaver of all sorts of amazing things. And so I asked Jeffrey, we had you on the show on the 23rd of June 2022, so that's 3 years ago now. Anyway, before we start you off with your numbers, I just wanted to give a personal announcement that next week is going to be my final podcast on the show. And it's going to be an end of an incredible journey for myself as co-host. The picture of me, God. So it's been a privilege to hear from so many inspiring guests and to listen along with you all as they've shared their passions, their dreams, and their visions and stories. But it's now time for me to explore lots of new possibilities. So next week, we're going to be the last one next week, we're going to have the lovely Auntie B on the show for about an hour. And then Jeff is going to do a handover when we finish around 10 a.m. And he's going to introduce the new co-hosts who are going to be stepping in for me to continue dreaming the new dream and bring their new. So as you see, there's this picture of the new ladies. So today it's my privilege to have Katharine because it was Katharine's birthday Sunday. So belated happy birthday again, fellow Scorpio. So where would you like to start with your numbers, my lover?
I don't mind. Well, I can actually even just start whilst we're talking about birthdays. And actually, before I even say that, I just want to say thank you to both of you for inviting me back again. It's really lovely to be back dreaming the new dream with you. So thank you. And hello to everyone who's watching live or on the replay. One place we could start immediately is birthdays, because our birthdays are obviously very close, but they also hold this year the same numerological frequencies in some ways. So there'll be a little teaching for everyone here who's watching. And also tying it into the numerology of 2025, which is a 9 universal year. We calculate that by adding 2 and 0 and 2 and 5. That's how we calculate the universal year every year. And one of the themes of the 9 is celebration. Not a lot of people talk about that aspect of the 9. Hey, Vicky, nice to see you. So the 9, one of the themes of the 9 is celebration, and it's also connected to the past. And so that's why the 9 can be associated with celebrating things from the past, celebrating things that happened in the past, celebrating anniversaries, so to speak. So a birthday is an anniversary and a celebration of our birth. Birth being connected to the 1 frequency, 9 being connected to celebrations. And interestingly, actually, my dad's got all 1s and 9s in his blueprint, and birthdays are really, 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 really special to him. And I have another friend from university, actually, his name's Rich, and he's all just got 1s and 9s in his blueprint. And he always remembers my birthday. He's normally the first person to send me a happy birthday wish. And so just acknowledging our birthdays this year, Andrina. So I was born on the 2nd of the 11th in the year of 1980. Andrina was born on 11/11 in 1949. And we'll get to your numbers in a bit, Jeffrey, actually. You were 27/11, 1956. But just talking about mine and Dream's. And again, this is a teaching for anyone that's watching that wants to work out what their personal year is this year. So to calculate your personal year, you take the day and the month that you were born, and then you add it to the current year. So for me, I was born on the 2nd of the 11th. So I can take the 2, add it to the 11, which equals 13. Then I can add it to the 9 of 2025 and I get 22. So that means that my year that I'm in currently is a 22 frequency. And then again, with Andrina, you were born on 11/11. So we can either take the 11 and the 11, add that together, that gives you the 22. Then when you add the 22 to the 9, that gives you 31, which would be a 4. But there is another way to acknowledge that, whereby you can take the 1 and the 1, add that together, that gives you a 2. Then again, you can add that to the 11 of November, which gives you the 13, add it to the 9. And there's a 22 or a 22/4 frequency. So something that Andrina and I have always known is that our personal years are always the same. So there are always themes flowing through our personal year, even though we've got different numbers in our blueprints. Thematically, there are always similar themes playing out for us. And what is also interesting is when you bring the themes of the 2 and the 9, or the 11 and the 9 together, the 9 can be associated with endings, closure, completion. The 2 can be connected to relationships, friendships. So again, it's interesting that this chapter is like closing this beautiful chapter that Andrina and Jeffrey have been kind of journeying on together through co-creating and co-hosting Dream the New Dream. But it's especially interesting that it's, that closure and completion is happening for Andrina, whereas Jeffrey's continuing to host. We'll bring in a new host. But again, very connected with the 2 and the 9, or the 22 and the 9, a 22 personal year, a 9 universal year, with the closing of something, a closing of a chapter, of a collaboration with someone. And also interestingly that it's happening this month, November. November is an 11 universal month in a 9 universal year. And I just taught a class on this the other day. But again, one of the other ways that the 2 and the 9, or the 11 and the 9 can come together is it can sometimes be the closing or a completion of a relationship or a collaboration. But also it can be the beginning of something new, especially when the 11's involved, because the 11 holds 2 1s. The 1s are about birthing things. So, very interesting that numerologically we're in this month, that it's approaching your birthday as well. Andrina, you're in a 22 year and you're feeling to kind of close this chapter and step away. Jeffrey will continue. There'll be someone new that comes in. But the other teaching of the 9 is that every time we embrace a closure or a completion, it creates space for more of the 1, which is the new. And again, as a collective, we're moving through the end of this 9 universal year and this 9-year cycle into 2026, which is going to be a 1 universal year and the beginning of a new 9-year cycle. So I guess that would be what I'd maybe like to start with.
Well, that's sharing. A good start.
Hmm.
And it makes sense because, like, I've been privileged to do this podcast and I've done it for 4 years. So, and it's flown by, absolutely flown by. So, it's been a privilege, but I just feel it's time for new energies. And like I said, for me to create new possibilities. So, yeah. And then I thought my birthday week was the perfect week to finish. So, yeah. So there we go.
And then, the other interesting thing is for Jeffrey. So if we look at Jeffrey's numbers, so if we look at what your personal year is, Jeffrey, so you were born on the 27th of the 11th. So we do 2 + 7, which is 9. Then we add that to the 11. And then we add the 9, that totals 29. 2 plus 9 is 11. So you're in an 11-2 personal year. So again, interesting that as Andrina is stepping away in this month, this 11 universal month, there's a new connection, a new collaboration that's coming in with, the new co-host. I don't want to mention her name because I don't know if that's public yet, but so that'll be happening soon. So just, and it's, for me, it's so fascinating when we look at our own individual numbers and our own personal year and our own personal month, and then we weave that in with what the universal year is or what the universal month is. I always find that fascinating.
I love how you explain all the numbers so that people can go back and work out their numbers in their year. Like, it fascinates me. I've always enjoyed anything to do with numbers, not adding them up, but enjoying numbers. Right. So 1111. What else would you like to share on the 1111?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I could sit here like all day and talk to you about 1111. I just taught a class on it recently. Jeffrey's just put a picture up of the 1111 and a doorway. And one of the things that I like to share and teach and talk about in relation to the 1111 is that for me, it's a portal, a very powerful numerological portal. And, lots of people say, 1111, make a wish. And, the 11 is associated with wishes and dreams and intentions. It's also associated with illumination, illuminating things. It is an awakening frequency, and I'll speak a little bit about that in a minute. But it's a real kind of like amplificatory frequency. And I also associate it with the moon, but from a new moon and a full moon perspective, because the 11 associates with intentions, wishes, dreams, which we would associate with the new moon. But it also is an illuminatory frequency, which we associate with the full moon. So for me, from an astrological perspective, the 11 is very much connected to the moon and lunar energies and frequencies. It also holds the frequency of the 2. 1 + 1 is 2. Every master number has a mortal friend or a mortal counterpart. The mortal numbers I refer to as numbers 1 to 9. They're more earthly. They're more about our physical 3D human mortal experience here on Earth. The 11 is the first master number that we get to after the 9. And it is, for me, also the portal from the mortal numbers into the master numbers and the cosmic multidimensional numbers, which would be 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. So for me, just the 11 alone is a portal from the mundane, the physical, Bobby Basic 3D human flesh suit experiences into the more cosmic, the more intergalactic, multidimensional aspects of who we are at a soul level. And my feeling is that those of us that have the master numbers in our blueprints, especially in our birth blueprint, we're here to remind people that we're not human. We're having a human experience, that we are star seeds, that we are cosmic, infinite, eternal beings having a multidimensional experience. And when the 1111 shows up, and there's so much I could share with you about it, it is a portal for us to be able to, as conscious, awake, starseed, cosmic beings, represented by the 11, be mirroring that and be seeing that mirrored to us by another cosmic, awake being. That's one of the things that the 1111 represents for me. Now, some people connect the 11 with like the twin flame experience, the kind of runner chaser thing. And because the 11 is so illuminatory, sometimes those of us that have 11s in our blueprints or master numbers, because any master number will hold the 11 energy and frequency, and any master number themes or frequencies that come before it. So you, Dream, you hold the 99 in your blueprint. And it's one of the reasons why you trigger people. I hold the 11 and the 22. It's not that we mean to, but sometimes our presence, our light, our way of being can trigger other people, especially if they are not yet embodying the mastery of those frequencies, so to speak. So the 11 can be, and the 1111 can be a triggering frequency, but for those of us that are game, it can trigger greater awakening, greater levels of awareness and consciousness, expansion in our consciousness. And it's why when awakened beings come together and are able to hold that unconditionally loving place and space for one another, we can step into an embodiment of high levels of consciousness. This is why I'm very, very conscious of who I'm friends with these days, who I hang out with, who I spend time with. I love everyone. I love everyone. But I'm still making more and more conscious choices and decisions, because I don't want to hang out with people that drain my energy. I don't want to hang out with people that are in the doom and gloom all day, every day, that are in the apocalyptic, everything's terrible. I will hold space for and listen to if someone's had a tough time or something's going on. I'm not interested in this spiritual bypassing, but what I'm really interested in is what's on the other side of the shadow of the 9, so to speak. What's on the other side of, what's really terrible, and what action can we take? What intentions can we set? Or how can we help and support one another to be more of who we came here to be, to embody the most magnificent versions of ourselves possible, to hold the vision of heaven on earth, which is the 11 frequency. And how can we come here to co-create heaven on earth, which is the master number frequency that is created when the 11 and the 11 come together, which is the 22. So the 11 is the vision of the new earth. The 22 is the co-creation of the new earth. And, even dreaming the new dream, that's very much connected to the 11. The dreaming is the 11. And, the 1111 would manifest as the 22, which would be, how do we weave the new dream into physical 3D reality? How do we embody the new dream once we've dreamt it, or once we've remembered that, if that makes sense?
Totally. It's fascinating. Oh my God, I don't even know what I was going to ask you now. Just keep talking.
Okay.
The principle of dreaming the new dream was essentially when I was sitting down with Julia Chai, when she came and approached us to come and do the show, and it just so happened that we're sitting around there for about an hour and a half drinking green tea, and all of a sudden the third eye opened up and had the Nike symbol, just do it. And then just doing it was like, oh, dreaming the new dream just popped into my head, realizing that, the game of Monopoly is all about acquisitions and purchasing and bloody playing this game. And it was always like, dreaming the new dream is about manifesting or using the power of imagineering. Imagine it, and then you engineer it into manifestation. So they're really background to the actual dreaming the new dream.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. And, one of the other things I can share with you about the 11 frequency is that I connect it with unicorns. So I think I shared an image with you, Jeffrey, of 2 unicorns facing one another, or like mirroring one another. And that's what the 1111 represents. And there are a lot of people on the planet that don't believe in unicorns. They don't see them. They can't connect with them. But again, one of the ways that the 1111 frequency or code could be interpreted would be two unicorns coming together. And do you see how they've got their horns like crossing over and touching? This is where the magic of the unicorn comes from. And in olden days, even in Scotland, they would cut the unicorn's horns off because that was where the magic was. And for those of us that hold 11s or master numbers, or ever want to connect in with the 11 frequency, or the magic of the 11 and the unicorn, it's very, very, very simple. And Diana Cooper writes a lot about unicorns. She's a big unicorn fan. And for me, it's like one of my favorite creatures. The flying unicorn, or the alicorn. The alicorn is, again, the 22 frequency. But, you know, and I've been attracting a lot of people with 11s in their blueprints in my 22 year, especially as we've been getting close to this 11 universal month. And all my 11 friends, all my 11 personality friends started making contact with me right at the beginning of November as well. It was very, very interesting. But the 11 is also associated with not just sensitivity or high sensitivity, hypersensitivity. And it's the same with the unicorns. Like, unicorns don't show up just anywhere. Like, a unicorn would never show up at a loud rave, for example. But if you're in a beautiful forest glen and you're sitting quietly and you're listening to the bird song, or you might be with a friend who's playing a harp, that's when the unicorns are going to show up. And so for those of us that have eyes and ears and hearts to kind of see, hear, and feel them, we can call our unicorns in whenever we want for help and support. And one of the most amazing ways that the unicorns can help us, and this is how the 11 and the 1111 code can help us, is through amplifying and further illuminating our wishes and our dreams. So if ever we've got intentions or wishes or dreams that we're wanting to put out into the universe, or we're seeing 1111 a lot, it can be always amazing to, you know, send our wishes and dreams out into the universe, or send them down into a well or a waterway, or off the top of a mountain, or better still, share them with friends, or share them especially with friends that hold 11s, because we hold extra special magical unicorn energy. And you can also call the unicorns in, and they will amplify and turbocharge your wishes and dreams. And they're always around. My belief, and I know Diana Cooper believes this, that we all have at least one unicorn that we can call in to help and support us. And so when the 1111 frequency is present, there's the potential for two unicorns, one on either side, you know, maybe male, female.
Stereo.
Yeah. Say again?
In stereo.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like a turbocharged, amplified unicorn wishing, dreaming frequency. But again, where the 1111 is more powerful than just the 11 alone, or just one unicorn alone, everything gets turbocharged. So the 11 can amplify wishes and dreams, but the 1111 and the 22, which gets created, is helping us to weave our wishes and dreams into physical 3D reality. And one of the mottos that Pythagoras gave me for the 22, the 2 is all about sharing, the 11 is wishes and dreams, the 4 of the 22 is about taking action to weave our wishes and dreams into reality. And Pythagoras always said to me about the 22, an intention shared is an intention squared. And that's what the 1111 can be associated with. It's like, it's almost the equivalent of having two unicorns either side of you with their horns crossing, going, how can we be of service? What's your wish? What's your dream? How can we amplify that for you? And then for us as humans, the action, the practical action that we can take when that portal is open, when that doorway is open, is who can we share that wish and dream with here on earth, that we feel safe to share the wish and dream with, who can help us amplify it, who is happy to help support us and cheerlead us. So the 2 is a support energy. It's very connected to the horses. The 11 is the unicorn energy. It's more of a cheerleading, amplificatory energy, which is more about kind of like the cosmic cheerleader that wants to send your wish and dream out into the cosmos, but also wants to help and support you here on Earth to weave it into physical 3D reality. And again, I don't think a lot of people, when they see 1111, do they think about the 22, but it does create that 22 frequency rather than just having an 11 by itself, if that makes sense. So this is why I said, and we can speak a little bit more about the awakening code in a minute, but this is why when I gave you the title for it, the 1111, the awakening code and the portal for experiencing the new Earth. Because for me, the 11 is the portal from the mortal to the cosmic, the more multidimensional. And my feeling is, for those of us that really want to experience the new Earth, we need to be embodying our multidimensional selves, our multidimensional, interdimensional, starseed, soul level gifts, talents, abilities, knowledge, and wisdom, guided by our higher self, our higher guidance, and the divine. And for me, when the 1111 shows up, that is a portal that opens, that is inviting us to keep our feet on the ground here in the mortal realm in 3D, but open ourselves up more, especially through our heart and our soul, our third eye, our crown, more into our multidimensionality and our more of our multidimensional gifts, talents, and abilities to connect with that new dream, to connect with that vision of the new Earth, which is the 11, and then to connect into more of the mastery of those master numbers, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, which I believe are required in order for us to have new Earth experiences and to be living the new dream and to be weaving that dreaming of the new dream into our physical 3D reality so that we can experience it here on Earth, so that we can experience and co-create heaven on earth, which is the 22 frequency.
Wow. You astound me with your knowledge with the numbers. You just rattle them off. I just love it. I was just thinking, because like obviously after 1111, then there's the 1212, and we met on the 1212 in, like, Vicky took me to that castle place. I can't remember where it was now.
Castle on the Hill by Yukai.
Yeah, Yukai, that was it. And that was when I first met you, and we had such a connection then as soul sisters, and both being number 9s and Scorpios and all of the magical things. And we were there for that 1212 gathering. So, of course, you know, everything's speeding up so fast. So what is the 1212 going to bring in after the 1111? Because obviously it's 3-3.
Yeah, that's a great question, Dream. So yeah, the 1212, so it is a 3-3, but it also holds the 1 and the 2 as well. So it's going to be holding, the 1212 will be holding the themes, frequencies, keys, and codes of the 1 and the 2 that we will have already been experiencing through the 1111 portal, but also in this 11 universal month. So November isn't always an 11 universal month. It only happens to be every 9 years. So we'll have been being given these opportunities to embodying the mastery of the 1 and the 2 before we get to the 1212. The mastery of the 1 being in our sovereignty, being able to be independent, being able to think for ourselves, feel for ourselves, look after ourselves, be reliant and dependent on ourselves. But also the 1 is the frequency of the sovereign seed planters of the new Earth. So again, for those of us that are really wanting to embody that new Earth 1 frequency, we are here to be way showers of embodying what it looks like to be a sovereign way shower as we move, especially into and towards 2026, because 2026, all of the themes connected to next year will be connected with the 1. And it's going to be a big year for sovereignty. Really big year for sovereignty. Those of us that are already embodying it, we're here to way show and mirror what that 1 frequency looks like. We weren't bothered by what happened during COVID. We weren't affected by any of those things. We didn't get knocked about because we were in our sovereignty. We knew that no one and no thing had any governance or effect over us as sovereign beings. And more of us have woken up to that. But there will still be more and more people that are going to be being triggered and affected as we move towards 2026. And this 1212 portal will be holding the keys and codes of the one to invite people to embody a higher level of mastery of the one. Those of us that are already embodying it, we mirror it. Then there's the frequency of the two. Again, peace, calm, balance, tranquility, harmony, equality, equanimity, a healthy awareness of duality without going too far into either one way. Jeffrey's just shown another 1111 image. And just going back to the 1111, the 11 is a mirroring energy. And so again, whenever the 11 or the 1111 is present, it's an opportunity for us to be new earth mirrors of what it looks like to be the embodiment of certain frequencies, especially the frequencies that are in our blueprints. And so, you know, those of us that are embodying the mastery of the two, that paves an amazing way to be able to be embodying the mastery of the 11 or the 12, for example. The mastery of the two is how do we maintain and embody peace, calm, balance, tranquility, harmony, fairness in all of our friendships, relationships, partnerships, collaboration, co-creation. And also the frequency of the two is around patience. So again, there's that beautiful image that Jeffrey's just shown of the 1111 portal, of this, you know, the ability to see a new earth reality. But are we ready to step into it? Are we ready to let go of and step away from an old version of ourselves or an old way of being? Because the new earth is quite different to what some of us might have been born into, or how we might have been educated, or even how society is, you know, communicating what life on earth is like. But those of us that are dreaming the new dream, those of us that are holding the vision of the new earth, we are here to, you know, embody our sovereignty, be able to hold our sovereignty as a whole and complete being. When we come together with another human, that's what happens when the one and the two come together. And then when we get the 12, we get to embody the 3 frequency. 1 + 2 is 3. The 3 is all about the messages of the new earth, the stories of the new earth, how we communicate in the new earth. And all of the communication in the new earth is based on the foundations of the themes of the 1 and the 2. Are we communicating from a sovereign place? Are we honoring other people's sovereign choices? Or are we trying to push and force our thoughts and beliefs on others? Are we coming from a peaceful, calm, centered, grounded, gentle place? Are we coming from a place where we're honoring equality and we're honoring the dualistic experience of life on earth? There's a lot of polarity at the moment. It's just getting stronger and stronger in some areas for some people. And the 2 is duality, but the 11 is bipolarity. It's the extremes. Those of us that are mastering the embodiment of the 11, we don't get caught up in any of that. We rise above it and we look down from above. We don't need to get in a rocket and go out into space and see Earth as teeny tiny and see that there are no, we live it. So those of us that are embodying the mastery of the 1, the mastery of the 2, the mastery of the 3, we are the sovereign diplomats and the sovereign diplomatic communicators, storytellers of the new earth. Jeffrey just showed an image of Andromeda. That's the Andromeda galaxy. I connect the 11 frequency with Andromeda.
I know when I lived in Glastonbury, when I lived with Jenny, I don't think you ever met Jenny, but she used to introduce me to everybody. This is Andrina from Andromeda. It didn't matter who it was. Oh dear. Only Glastonbury.
I would say you've definitely spent time in Andromeda for sure, because those of us that are ambassadors of the 11 frequency will have a connection to Andromeda. I connect the 11 with Andromeda. Andromedans are ambassadors and diplomats of peace, not just one-on-one, which is the 2 frequency, but across the planet and multi-dimensionally and interdimensionally. So again, when you've got an 1111 frequency key or code, that's where you might be coming into contact with Andromedans. I'm an 11-2 personality. So I mean, And I know where I'll be going whenever I leave this body permanently. You know, I'll probably have an Andromedan leaving party whenever I go.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, everyone will be invited to dress in white. Everyone will be invited to dress up as unicorns. There'll be lots of rainbows, all the things. And it was interesting, actually, because a friend of mine who's a 22 life path, she lives in Glastonbury. She sent me a message recently about a 3i Atlas interview that Barbara Hand Clow had given.
Oh, yeah.
And she was talking about how she thinks 3i Atlas has come from Andromeda. And, you know, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. Again, we're in an 11 universal month. For me, this whole month is going to be, we have the opportunity to be being completely and utterly bathed in 11 frequencies, not just on the 1111 portal, which this year will be a 22 master day as well. So your birthday, Andrina, will be a 22 life path. What does Auntie Carol say? 1111 is a portal to move us from the mortal to help shift all humanity into multidimensionality. The effects of 1111 will help our earth be more like heaven. Carol, absolutely, Carol. 100%. Absolutely. We're on the same page. It's a very, very, very powerful portal. And for me, it is a portal that we all have the opportunity to step into and move through if we really want to co-create heaven on earth. You know, not just dream the new dream and access it, but live it, embody it, be it. How do we embody the frequencies of the new dream, of the new earth? And so coming back to your question about 1212 dream, so, you know, again, that those numbers hold the themes of the 1 and the themes of the 2 and the themes of the 3. And like I was saying, 1212 will be a 3-3 portal. So again, a powerful portal to be paying attention to what we are saying, the words that we are speaking. And this is going to be true for the whole month of December this year, because December will be a 3 universal month. 1212 will be a surface 3-3 portal. How are we using our bodies and our mouths and our vocal cords as conduits for the divine, as messengers of the new earth, storytellers of the new earth? And, you know, the 3 and the 9 can sometimes come together as doom and gloom and telling stories of trauma and woe and pain and suffering. And that's okay. That's totally okay. But the higher level frequencies and the mastery of the 3 and the 9 is, how do we use our words to spread unconditional love and kindness and compassion for all humans and all beings and all creatures, great and small, and nature? And how do we celebrate them? How do we use our words and our bodies to create and communicate the celebration of the gift of life on earth? Now, the other thing that is very significant about 1212 every year, beyond the numerology, is it is the opening of the 0 point portal every single year. And for me, it's no coincidence that that's when you and I first met, Dream. So the 0 point portal opens on 1212 every year, closes on 2112, and it is the most powerful portal for manifestation and instant manifestation. I teach classes about this every single year, and I teach my students about how important it is during that portal to be extra specially conscious and mindful of what we're thinking, what we're saying, the actions that we're taking, because it's as if it's not even like we've just got 2 unicorns either side of us. We're surrounded by unicorns. We're surrounded by the genie of Aladdin's lamp. We're surrounded by millions of Father Christmases and angelic and multidimensional beings that want to make our wishes and dreams real. So I would say this year more than ever, because the 11 energies of November are going to be overlapping for the first 2 weeks of December this year. So the 11 wishing energy is going to be turbocharged. I spoke about this in class just the other day. Until the middle of December this year, the 11 energies will be overlapping, and they will be present for the 1212 portal this year. the other reason astronomically why the 0 point portal is so significant is it's as the sun is traveling through Ophiuchus, the sign of Ophiuchus, and it's as it is traveling through the sign of Ophiuchus towards Sagittarius, towards the December solstice. And the December solstice every year is when our planet comes into alignment with the galactic center. And the December solstice, more so than the June solstice, which is also special, is a very powerful, special time for not just setting our wishes and dreams and intentions, but sharing them, being open to receiving them, feeling worthy of receiving them, and taking action in the direction of them. So that 12-12 portal dream, it holds the 1 and the 2 and the 3. But this year, as we come to the end of this 9 universal year, the 9 can be associated with unconditional giving and receiving. It can be associated with karma, karmic credit, receiving gifts and rewards for service, karmic service. I would say to anyone who's watching, especially people that have 9s, 11s, 3s, 99s, any master numbers, this solstice, December, this 0 point portal, the back end of this year has the potential to be the most amazing opportunity to open yourself to receiving gifts that you might have been asking for a very long time. The only thing that will stop or stand in the way of you receiving your heart's desire, your wishes and dreams, is whether you believe it's possible and whether you feel worthy of receiving it. So anyone that wants to do any work on letting go of any unworthiness or blockages to receiving, do that now, especially on the run up to the opening of the 0 point portal, 12-12.
Great. Got a lot of work to do for those that...
I just had a lovely little letting go ceremony at the full moon, a little fire on the beach last night. It was lovely. Fires are great. Fires connected to the 9. It's a really great element for transmutation, alchemy, letting go, releasing.
Because we was it the September solstice, we were in Sandbanks, and I was with Melissa, who's a number 9, and a few others, and we had Mark that was on the show a couple of weeks ago, the House of Cacao. Yeah, we had a fire on the beach and it was lovely. And, you know, a couple of people said, oh, I didn't think you were allowed. Well, you're not, but but you have a choice. But it was just so lovely sitting on the beach, and it was a full moon as well. And like just watching the full moon shimmering across the ocean and the fire. Oh, it was lovely. I enjoy those sort of evenings.
Same. Yeah. It's my favorite. I was so happy last night. It was amazing. And I was there with a soul brother, and then serendipitously another soul brother came past looking for some friends who he couldn't find. And he was like, oh, can I hang out with you? I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, whoa, look at your fire. It's amazing. And then just whips out of his bag a little teapot, like a little thermos teapot. He's like, I've got some tea. I've got some bush tea, some peppermint blue gum tea. Do you want some tea? I was like, yes. Manifested your friend with some tea. It was so cool. And I ended up calling it I was like, oh, this is serendipitous. This is like serendipity.
I like it.
It was so fun.
I can hear your accent coming out. For those that
can you? I think you bring it out of me, Dreen. You bring my inner West Country out, my origins. One being connected to origins.
Oh my God, I look forward to when we get together again.
Oh yeah, I have full permission to just go full West Country when I'm with you.
Oh dear. And funny because you're the only one that calls me Dreen. Carol does sometimes, and her 2 girls. Nobody else calls me Dreen. It's funny.
Really? Oh, I just love it. I mean, I can call you Andrina, but I don't know. I love it. I think because it sounds so much like dream as well. It's like, I love it.
Dream of a dream, yeah.
Yeah. Dream a little dream of dream.
I don't know about that, but anyway. Right. I remember putting something up about, like, for us number 9s, we've had that many number 9s days to deal with, haven't we? I mean, I think in 2 days' time, there's a number 9 day. And I always look at what can I complete? What do I need to finish? Or is there anything that needs finishing on this day? because I'm to my 9 friends, I go, number 9 day today, number 9, get on with whatever. And then somebody said, oh, you're in the old way of doing the numbers. It's not like that anymore. And I said, well, yeah, that's fine. Everybody's different in how they look at numbers. But for me, that's how I enjoy numbers and working with the ones, twos, etc., etc. So any thoughts there?
Yeah, well, I would say you're in the original way, because the way that you calculate it is the way that I calculate it. And that's all based on Pythagorean numerology. And like for me, that's the origin of, I mean, I don't know what the new way is, but it's, again, for anyone who's watching, who wants a tutorial, the way that we calculate any universal day is we take the day, the month, and the year. So, for example, tomorrow here in Australia will be Friday the 7th. I think, no, it'll be the same for you guys as well. So we take the 7th, then we add it either to the 1 and the 1 of the 11th. So that's 7 plus 2 equals 9. And then we add it to the current year. 2025 is a 9. So 9 plus 9 is 18. So tomorrow is a 9 day. I don't know how anyone else could calculate that.
Well, no.
Unless, I mean, I wouldn't say that's the old way, or I would just say that's the way. If anyone's putting extra numbers in or doing some other bonkers jiggery pokery, fair enough. But I would say that's the only way to calculate whatever the universal day is. And then it's within an 11 universal month, within a 9 universal year. So I would call tomorrow a 9/11/9 portal. And it's the first 9/11/9 portal of November. Now, we're all going to be having a call, and another class, hopefully on Sunday the 16th, which will be the second 9/11/9 portal, where I'll be having my soul brother Damien as a special guest talk about fire and cosmic fire. But for me, I've been tracking and following the universal days along with my personal days for years now. And I put it all in my phone. It's all probably back to front, but the 7, I've got my white wind wave spell. So if Vicky's watching, she'll be happy because I track the wave spells. That this is all back to front, but it's 9/11/9. That's the universal portal. Whoops. And then my personal portal, which will be a 22/33/22. That's going to be our personal portal tomorrow, Dream.
Wow.
Yeah. 22 day, 33 month in a 22 year. And then also it's it's astronomical Beltane Samhain tomorrow as well. Astronomical. And then I'm giving a reading to someone at midday. But Elizabeth's getting a reading at 12 o'clock on the beach.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. What was I going to say about tomorrow? Oh God, it's gone again. I've got so many things going on in my mind at the minute. No, keep going. It's gone.
That's all right.
It might come back, but it might not.
It's okay. I'm sure it will come back to you. So I track every day I have in my phone. One day I'll create an app. Did you remember?
Yeah. Is there an app for people? Excuse me. To that was it. Is there an app for people to download with the numbers on for them, or is this something you put together in your calendar?
Oh, I just put it in my calendar. Yeah, but one day there will be an app.
Yeah.
Though I might even be able to create a Google Calendar actually that people can access before I create the app. But one day there will be a cosmic numerology app that you can just put your date of birth in, and then you would be able to track what your personal portal is, your personal day, month, and year, and then what the universal day, month, and year is as well. Yeah. I'm just thinking actually there might be. Oh, go on, Jeffrey.
You can do it now.
You can do it now.
Yeah, all you do is you go to the Chinese DeepSeek app.
Okay.
Where you can go to Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI.
Oh, Grok.
You got to have a play with ChatGPT. Just put in what you require.
Well, there you go.
I have been speaking with ChatGPT and even Gemini, which is Google's AI, about numerology. I haven't asked them to do any of that maths yet, but they've been failing quite miserably in my numerology classes. So for anyone that is watching,
Yep.
I've sacked both of them. They're terrible students. They keep getting things wrong. And their maths, I don't trust their maths. But there is one app, actually.
His site's all scientific stuff, engineered mathematics, all that stuff. Great.
Okay, maybe. There is one app, actually, that, let me see. Again, I don't trust the apps very much. Like, I tend to just trust myself and my own calculation. There is an app. It's a purple app. It's called Numerology. It's a bit hard to find, but they do track. Hang on, they track your personal day, personal month, personal year, but it doesn't acknowledge the master numbers. So it's acknowledging my personal year as a 4, and it's not. It's a 22. It's acknowledging my personal month as a 6, and it's not. It's a 33. So.
All right. Yeah.
I would only ever trust my cosmic numerology app that hasn't yet been made.
But it's in the process.
It's and I might, I'll look at it. I've got to write my book first. That's what I'm finally kind of surrendering to. But just coming back to your question about the 9 days. For me, I track everything. Whether I live and die by it is another thing. But all of the information is always in my phone. And sometimes if I'm not consciously tracking it and something happens that's very connected to the theme of a number, like the other day, I was in a 5 personal month and I felt guided to go down to the beach and have a little like silent disco on the beach for like an hour. And I was sick for like 8 years with chronic and adrenal fatigue. So most days I couldn't even get out of bed. And it was the first time in years that I'd actually felt to just put my little earbuds in, have a little Coldplay disco on the beach just by myself in the water. And I checked, thanks, Becky. I checked my numerology because I knew I was in a 5 month, and the 5 is all about like flow and freedom. Yeah. I don't have a 5 in my birth blueprint. I'm a 22-4. So sometimes I'm not as in the 5 as I could be, but I was in a 5 month and it was a 3 personal day, which again is like music, creativity, dance, song, like all the things. And I was like, oh, of course I felt to do that on a 5 personal day in a 5 personal month. So when we track these, we don't have to live and die by them, but I find it, I mean, it's always on the money for me, but it can be really, really helpful to flow with them. And like you said, Dream, you've got all 9s in your blueprint. And one of them's a 99. And you track the 9 days. And you're always consciously thinking on those 9 days, what can I let go of? What can I release? Which is really great and a great teaching for anyone that's with you or around you, given that you hold all the 9s. But then if we look at that 9 day within the context of other themes, so it's a 9 day in a 9 year, so the 9's going to be strong tomorrow in 11 months. So again, that might be, what can I let go of? Oh, hi Vivian in Brazil. What can I let go of that's not supporting me in terms of relationships? Or what can I let go of that might be out of balance? Or what can I let go of that's stopping me from experiencing peace or embodying my sovereignty? Or what can I let go of that's stopping me from slowing down? Because the 2 is about slowing down. It's a tortoise energy. And I've been noticing some people in my reality have been being slowed down. Anyone that's moving too fast, the 2, the 11 to the 22 will slow you down.
You should have seen me go up the tour yesterday.
There you go. The 2's all about soft and gentle and slow. And the 11 is like, taking a soft, gentle walk through the fairy glen with the unicorns. Unicorns don't run around like nutters. They just tinkle about, or they sit down with the fairies and the flowers.
Just
they're not
on my street.
I know, me too. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the same with horses as well. Like most of the time when we see horses, they're grazing. They're just chilling. Yeah. They're not running around like nutters. If they get happy and joyful and excited, they might run about or kick their legs out and stuff, but most of the time they're pretty chilled. Same with unicorns.
Yeah, we got two. We got there's Tinker and there's Thunder. Thunder's sort of somebody else's. It comes in on the land, and they're like my little ponies running about. And this Thunder chases the other one, and he was chasing the sheep, and he runs around, and he's so funny to watch. But I think I shared on the podcast weeks ago, we had a beautiful horse arrive. We had the Lloyd's Bank black horse, Amadea. Oh my God, he was in the next field just next to me, and his presence here was something else. I could feel it, and I can still feel it when I talk about him. I can still feel energetic. He was just, I can't explain, but he was tall, he was strong, and he knew he was like Kingpin, and he shone, he was black and shiny. It was such a gift that he came here. And the two lady horses, sort of, he looked at them, but he just wasn't interested. It was really funny to watch. I thought, oh, they'll be, and they sort of went over to him, and they sort of all had a little sniff, like they were separate. He was in his own little field. But yeah, just watching the interaction, and the girls come away because they knew, I think he was a one-night stopover.
Well, I looked him up actually, after you told me about him, and yeah, what a divine specimen, like stallion, like, muscular, just incredibly beautiful animal and horse. And again, like the 9 reminds us of the beauty of nature and all creatures great and small. And when the 9 comes together with the 2 or the 11 2, it's the beauty of the horses, the beauty of the tortoises, the beauty of the swans connect to. So someone actually sent me a picture of the front cover of a book. It's all about love. It's a beautiful book. She's like, oh, it was just gifted to me. I read it in like a morning, and I thought of you when I read it, and would you like me to send it to you? And I was like, yeah, sure. But on the front of it, it had a beautiful painting of 2 swans facing one another. And again, that looks like the 22, but it also makes a heart when the swans come together. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what my next question is, like, because next Tuesday is the 11/11, and that adds up to a number 4 day. What does that mean on that actual day? Can you remind me, please?
Yes. So 11/11. So I would actually acknowledge it as the 4 frequency, but I would also, like, whenever it's possible in any way to create a master number, I'll acknowledge it. So I'm going to acknowledge it as the 22 frequency as well. So it would be a 22 and or a 4 11/9 portal. So 4 or 22 4 day, 11 month, 9 year. So the 4 again can be created from the 11/11. If we look at them, all of the numbers separately and individually and alone, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equals 4. And again, the 4 is a very, very important frequency in relation to weaving wishes and dreams into reality. The 11 is the wishes and the dreams. We're in 11 month. Next Tuesday will hold the 4 frequency, but also the 22. The 4 frequency is required in order for us to take physical action in physical 3D grounded reality to weave our wishes and dreams into physical 3D reality. The 22 is that master building frequency, that dream weaving frequency that's calculated when you get the 11/11 together. But the other important thing to know about the 22 and even the 11/2 is the sharing frequency of the 2. Anyone can have a wish and a dream. Anyone can see the vision of the new earth, right? Those of us that hold 11s or any master numbers, we're here to hold that vision of the new earth in our mind's eye. And this is where the 4 is very important. How are we taking action in our physical 3D reality to weave that vision into physical 3D reality? And who, with the 2, are we sharing it with? And with the 11, which awakened conscious beings are we sharing that vision with, who want to amplify it and turbocharge it and further illuminate it as we take action to weave that wish and dream and vision into physical 3D reality. And the more of us that are holding that vision, are sharing that vision, and are taking action in the direction of that vision, the quicker we're going to be anchoring and embodying and experiencing the new earth here in physical 3D reality. Because I believe we've all come here to experience heaven on earth. That's why we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting that I've invited friends. We're having a little gathering 10:30 in the Blue Note in Glastonbury. So if I haven't asked you, you're more than welcome. Just come along for a cup of coffee and just to hold the 11:11 energy, and because Carol's got a peace project, so she's working on Doves of Peace. So, collectively together, it's going to be a powerful group because we're all on the same frequency, wavelength, whatever you want. So yeah, and you're welcomed in spirit.
I'll be there with you in spirit, and you're welcome to come to my birthday party on Saturday in spirit as well.
Right, you're on.
Yeah. And doves connected to the 2, peace frequency. And they're a white being, they're a white animal, they're a white creature. And for me, and the beings that are connected to Andromeda are white, just as Jeffrey's showing the black horse.
Yeah.
And that's the polarity.
Number 9 as well, look. So
but that's the polarity as well. So like the 2 is all about duality and polarity, the black, white, off, on, up, down, male, female. The 9 is about the rainbow. The 9 is about all the colors. Oh, hi, Amanda. There's so many lovely people watching.
All part of the soul tribe, eh?
Yeah, soul family.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't see the writing. I don't know why. And I can just see the person's name, but I've got no idea what people's written.
Well, Amanda says, beautiful interview, heaven on earth. See you there next week. There you go. And Amanda Ambles. There you go.
Yeah. She's come. She's sorting out the who in Glastonbury and all the bridey and all of that. So another great connection. So.
Amazing.
Yeah. So anything else you'd like to share? Any words of wisdom before we finish up today?
Just, all I would say, especially in the spirit of the 11 and like the 22, because I hold both of them in my blueprint. They're very connected to the 1111 frequency, very connected to this 11 universal month, and moving into December and the 0 point portal, especially this month, a really, really powerful month to be paying attention to our wishes and our dreams, whether it's when our eyes are closed and where our physical body's resting, or whether it's in our awake, eyes open dream, because, it's all same. And, to be remembering the dream, remembering the vision of the new earth, remembering our starseed origins, which is very connected to the 1 and the 11, remembering who we are, where we're from, why we're here. And even if we can't fully remember where we're from, at least acknowledging that we're all starseeds. I believe that every human and every being on earth is a starseed. We're all cosmic beings. We all have these incredible multi-dimensional gifts, talents, and abilities. Not all of us have remembered them yet, but those of us that have, we're here to be mirrors. We're here to wake people up just by embodying our magic and being who we came here to be. We don't even have to run around telling anyone to wake up. We just be who we came here to be.
Exactly.
The 11 is giving ourselves full permission to shine brightly, to fully shine our light, to be the embodiment of that Andromedan frequency, and to come together, ideally with other conscious, awake light beings, to co-create heaven on earth. There is a quickening happening. John says, I saw the dawning of Aquarius during shamanic breathwork, and the following day I saw 11, 11, 12, 12, 111, 222, 333, and 444, and the next day on my phone. What a great time to be alive. Absolutely, John. And I really feel like now more than ever. Oh, Vicky just jumped on FB. So happy to hear all of your share, Catherine. Thanks, Dreen and Jeff. Now more than ever is the time to be embodying our magic, which is connected to the 11, to be allowing ourselves to shine brightly, allowing ourselves to be seen, allowing the spotlight to be on us, and to be these powerful mirrors of what it is to be a new earth being and a human who is here to co-create heaven on earth, and here's to uplift and cheerlead and support one another in feeling safe and ready to embody our magic. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, sounds good to me.
I'm here for it. I'm freaking here for it.
Freaking right.
Game on.
Game on, yeah. God, does it ever stop? Oh,
I'm
dear.
here for it.
Anyway, it's been an absolute delight as ever to have you on the podcast. And we'll talk soon, because I know we always chit chat and what have you and catch up. So, so I thank you for sharing all about the 1111, so which is obviously appropriate for me, and the number 9. So, you just astound me how you've got these. I know you've been doing it for decades, but you just got these numbers are just anyway. So thank you everybody for tuning in this week and listening to Dreaming the New Dream and Catherine. And next week's going to be the last one, and around 10 o'clock, Jeff is going to bring in the new co-host for the show that will be taking over the following week. Is that correct, Jeffrey? Do you want to say anything there?
Yeah. Just hang on a sec. Everybody, no, that's the wrong one. Just, I'll just step out of the photo. Yeah, because when Andrina mentioned that she would like to step aside, and I'm thinking, well, this is going to be interesting how this is going to play out. So, you know how you go and ask for a car park? You know, so hence the reason I just asked the universe, you know, asked for guidance and direction in a remedy. Anyway, the next day I got 2 names popped in my head when I was going for a walk. So I rang both of them. And the first said, no, you got to talk to this lady, Elise Herrera. So she's in Cape Canaveral in Florida, and she does a show on a Monday morning at Queensland time, which is Sunday night their time. So, yeah, fantastic. She does quantum hypnosis. You guys have been talking about Andromeda. She talks about Pleiades. The other lady, the co-host in Australia, so she comes from a background of teaching computers for kids, software, does yoga, lives on a property across the border in New South Wales, which is all about sovereignty and food security, water security, works in a community shop. The other lady from the UK there, Pretty, we had her on 3 weeks ago. So she was an engineer. She used to teach, she taught over 11,000 young engineers. Then she got chronically sick and then went to India. When she was in India, she got christened, baptized, and given a name, Pretty. So she's been behind the scenes with a guy called Michelangelo, who we've had from Italy. Talks about natural foods and lifestyle. And so she just happened to pop up and rang me one Monday morning, my time, which was about midnight, and said, "Oh, can we help you in any way?" I said, "Well, Andrina's just stepped aside. Would you like to do her job?" So now, instead of having the one show, we're going to have 3 shows a week. Yeah. One for the United States, one for the UK, one for Australia. And with a bit of luck, there'll be a cross-pollination. So, you know, the people in the UK, Europe, communicate with Elise in America, and America can go back to Europe or come back to Australia. So anyway, I don't know how it's going to go. I'll just step back and allow it to manifest. There you go.
Yeah, so they'll be coming on about 10 after Auntie B's finished. Jeff's going to bring them on, and we're going to have like a little handover and a little chit chat. So stay tuned next week for an extra special show. So and thank you, everybody.
I
Go
think
on.
also I'd just like to honor you, Andrina, as well, because we've been friends for quite a while, and it's been really beautiful and amazing to see you co-create this with Jeffrey. And for a long time you're a bit of a technophobe and you struggled with getting online, and we'd try and do stuff together. We always managed it, but I just really want to honor and acknowledge just how beautiful it's been to watch you kind of grow and expand and blossom and grow in your confidence and being seen, and all the amazing interviews that you've done with Jeffrey. It's been so beautiful to witness. So I just want to honor and acknowledge and celebrate you and the journey that you've been on over the last 4 years with Jeffrey and this amazing, beautiful show, and to deeply thank both of you, once again, for inviting me back, inviting me for a second time. It's an honor.
Oh, no, it's been a pleasure. And I've met and spoken and got friends, over the 4 years, and, lots of laughs and all sorts of lovely things. So it's been an amazing journey. So thanks to Jeffrey. So anyway, we'll finish it all next week. We'll have a roundup. So, okay, well, thank you, everybody, and see you all next week.
Yeah, very good, Carol. Thank you, Vicky. Right, so
see you, Vicky, on Tuesday. She's arriving at the weekend, so flying in, especially for the occasion.
Okay, we're going to hit the end of stream. We'll do the dreaming the new dream.
111, go on.
Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, love you all. Just thinking, boy.